Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Sasha Gilbert, and joining me tonight is Senior Vice President Thomas Parkinson. Welcome, Thomas. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Sasha. It's great to be here. I kind of think you really put too much emphasis on the word senior, but but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, you wouldn't know it to look at you. You're
Well,
doing great, my friend.
thank you. It's just a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you so much. I've been really looking forward to this, and I know our viewers are going to be very excited to hear what you have to share tonight. But before we get into that, Thomas, would you mind just sharing a little bit with us about you and your history, your story?
Sure. It's kind of funny to me. I was in broadcasting, management, and sales for 15 years, and then I started another career here in financial services. And so, what was, at one point, 2 years in financial services, et cetera, is now over 35 years in financial services.
Wow.
And, it's an amazing business. It is absolutely amazing in terms of how we help people and the differences that we make in people's lives. It's also a great place to learn about yourself, what you're made of and what your stick to itiveness is, and how you handle both the wins and, more importantly, the losses, because you're swinging the bat, and once in a while the ball hits the bat. So there you go.
I love it. And I just have to share with you publicly that when I met you, over a year ago now, I I hadn't gotten to that point yet. I handled the wins really well, the losses not so much. And your mentorship and just the time that I have spent with you has really had a positive impact on me personally.
Oh, that's great.
What is it that helps you to keep that positive mindset?
My wife, my dog, um, the Lord. Okay, certainly, absolutely. And it's not. It's a process. When I don't know about you, but when I was raised, the first words I heard, I mean, I was raised with positive parents. You can do it. You can do anything, and relatives the same thing. But there's a good deal of no, you can't, that comes into situations. And at one point, there's a switch. You make a switch in your identity from yes, I can to no, I can't. And I think that just happens, sometimes over the years, the no's can accumulate, and you can lose sight of the fact that, it's a new day, you're at bat, it's a new call, it's new, new, new. There's no bearing on history. In fact, Sasha, when I was in elementary school, someone said that there's a permanent file. Now, I wasn't sure what that meant, but I had an idea that it was like a cloud hanging over me that would follow me through all of life. And, the way schools grade, they take an average. Right? So if there's improvement, that's great, but you're averaged out, right? The top and the bottom, and you're averaged. And it's like, this is a history that drags with you. Well, life doesn't work that way. Life works that way. When I meet you, we're starting, okay, ground zero. I don't know your history. You don't know mine. And so it's a fresh slate. And we get to start and go forward from there, right? From that fresh slate. And you have to remember that. I have to remember that. Today's a new day. This is this next call can be the person that I am looking to talk to. This next call can be the person that I can save. And that's, I think, what keeps us going, what keeps us positive in that. And I wasn't kidding about when I said my wife and my dog. I learned so much from my wife. She is so positive, so encouraging, so uplifting. So you can do anything. That scenario that it really makes a huge difference in my life. And when I was growing up, there was a saying, I guess it's kind of out of fashion now, might even be politically incorrect. And that is, behind every successful man, there's a successful woman. And I think that's very true. I think that as human beings, we need to be validated. We need to know that we're loved, that we're appreciated, that we're counted on, that we make a difference. I think that as human beings, we need to know that. And in our business, you get to know that from time to time.
That is so true. And Lisa is absolutely a treasure. But I have to say, I'm going to steal your phrase because based on my experience, I would say behind every successful woman is a successful team supporting her. Because that's what I've received from you and others, within virtual financial. And again, you're almost bringing me to tears here because you are just such a source of encouragement and support. And you've taught me so much over the last year. And I just want to thank you for that. So thank
Well,
you, my
Sasha,
friend.
I want to just send that right back to you. Your positive enthusiasm, your passion for people, that really, really makes a difference. And I do want to just expand on something that you said, which is the team. Okay. Behind every successful woman, you're absolutely right. Okay. Behind anyone successful, okay, there's a team. This is not a one person show. There's no such thing as a self made man or woman in this business. It's teamwork. And I think you and I had this conversation a while ago about you didn't join my team, but I joined your team. Big, big difference. Okay. My goal is to help you and do everything I can to help you win. Is it because I'm a great human being? Well, I like to think so, but the way this business is structured, virtual financial is structured, the more you win, the more I win. And in traditional business, it doesn't work that way. It's ironic, but 15 years in broadcasting, moved to very high levels in the industry. And most of the people that we're doing hiring, okay, we're looking for people that were just a cut below where they were because of insecurity. And
Mm.
I've seen a lot of very, go getter people go get blown out because of insecure management. And then you look at other industries, you look at real estate, you look at, well, even the insurance industry. Traditionally, if you are a real estate agent and I am the real estate broker, how much do I really want to pour into you? How much insider stuff do I want to share with you? Why? I'll tell you why. Thanks for asking, Thomas. Here's why. Because if I do a really good job in training you, if I do a really good job in making you super efficient and super successful, my thank you is going to be see you later. I'm opening up my own agency. I'm opening up my own real estate firm across the street. And let's see who has the most amount of for sale signs. Because my goal is to crush you. Thanks for the training. So in traditional business, it's different. Here as a leader, I want you to succeed more than you do. In fact, I want you to, I want to help your entire team succeed. And I want to find other people that have the same passion for people that you do. Right? I want to find more Sasha Gilberts.
Wow. Well, I'll gladly take a few Thomas Parkinsons if you want to throw them my way. That's incredible. Thomas, I absolutely love that because we get to choose who we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that I'm working very closely with other women and men that are not even on my team or part of our agency. And somebody warned me about that a few months ago. Well, what are you going to do if they succeed? They get there before you do. And my answer was, I'm going to be standing in the front row, clapping louder than anyone else, cheering them on because
Wow.
that's who we are here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of cheering people on, I love this story so much. So I would love if you would be willing to share it with our viewers. You did something no one else in our company, I believe, has ever done before. And your run, we call it a run, for SVP is going down in history.
Thank
Would
you.
you mind sharing just a little bit about that time in your journey?
I would love to. Here again, behind every successful person, there's a team, and there's a level of success that if you're looking at this business or you're inside this business, you want to achieve the senior vice president position. All the goodies, I mean, there are goodies along the way, but the goodies get really, really good at senior vice president. So you want to get there. And so I joined the company, I guess 2 years or 3 years before I really decided to make a run, quote unquote, a run. And I was very fortunate. I did a lot of recruiting. I had a lot of people in my organization. Okay, most of them, weren't doing anything, but that's okay. That's the nature of the business, right? But I decided to make a run, and I was very fortunate in having a few other people in my organization agreeing that they wanted to make their run. And so in 30 days, I qualified for senior vice president. My good friend, Bill Mitchell, qualified, 30 days. I might have been like 29 days, and he was, 29 days and 23 hours, but he made it, right? That's the thing. It's fun. And then in the next 90 days, an additional two other people qualified. So within 90 days, three other people, and four other people became SVPs. So five SVPs in 90 days from one organization. Because we're virtual, Sasha, I hope you can stop this a second. I just want to get these numbers right for you. So bear with
You
me.
take your time, Thomas.
And hopefully I'll find them. Okie dokie. Here we go.
Was Larry Knight one of the five?
Yes, he was a 90 dayer.
Wow.
Okay, so I found it. Now I'm just getting to the numeric fun portions here.
For those of you watching, you're going to be getting to know LB. That's what we call him, Bill Mitchell. There's two of them. So he's little Bill, even though he's like 8 feet tall, and Larry Knight. So stay tuned for those interviews. All right, Thomas, what are
All
you
right,
hunting
so
for?
here we go. Nothing like live TV and unprepared guests. That's what I say.
You are just fine.
Uh,
Well, I'll just take a
okay,
sip of our coffee
so
or water.
here we go. Uh, Here we go. Okay, August 1st to August 30th in 30 days. So what actually occurred? I personally recruited three people, and those three people plus my existing team totaled altogether 15 people. We
So your
created
agency had 15 licensed agents.
new agents, yes, in 30 days.
Wow.
And at the end of 30 days, we have submitted $53,992.91 in applications. So 15 new people, 54,000 in applications.
Wow.
But here's the power of virtual financial. This is amazing. Okay, all total, Those 15 recruits came from 9 different states. Think about that. And aside from my recruits, which were 3, so those other 12 came from 7 different reps. Some of them new, some of them existing. And collectively, we submitted 25 cases in 10 states. And those cases came from 13 reps. And here's the kicker. What I love is the assembly line. It's nowhere else. It's just nowhere else. So how do you do 25 cases in 30 days? No
Teamwork.
single person can do that, right? No single person can handle all the applications, all the attainment, all the stuff that goes along with that. But 8 can. And so on the first month of my run, 8 financial professionals. So not to be boring, but just to recap, it wasn't just me, but it was a team and the virtual financial system. How do people get up to speed fast? They plug into a system, and the system builds the business. Okay, I'm there as kind of a coach and encourager, go get it. How can I help you? Just going crazy. I say to people, that I'm talking to, here's the good news. I'll work as hard as you do building your business. You ready for the bad news? They go, yeah. I go, well, I'll work as hard as you do building your business.
Yes.
Right. So, all right. So we get this ball rolling down, you got the snowball at the top. Okay. Now it's rolling downhill. So what happens between August 1st and October 31st? Roughly 90 days. Okay. Well, we went from 15 new reps to 46 new reps in my organization. We went from about 59,000 in submitted cases to 147,000 in submitted cases. Those recruits came from 14 states. Those 54 cases came from 15 states. And again, we did it how? Using 8 financial professionals.
Wow.
So, what are the secrets? Okay, a common vision, right? Now, got to tell you, would you like to know the biggest mistake?
I would.
Okay, good. Next time we get together, I'll be glad to tell you. No. So the biggest mistake, okay, is you're running hard, okay, and you get to the finish line, and everyone goes, "Yay!" Okay, but the victory is really running through the finish line. And so we ran hard, but so many people, including me, I think, really said, "Yay!" And we should have just kept running and running and running. And this business snowballs. Now, I'll tell you a secret ingredient to all this if you'd like to know.
You know I would.
Okay. The secret ingredient, you've heard, certainly I have, attitude, not aptitude, determines your altitude, right? If you say attitude and aptitude. Well, there's one other thing, and that's called optimism. And so, really, optimism is the key to success. It really is. You've got to know that there are people out there that are crying in desperation, either in their financial situation or their business situation, their professional situation. They need a change. They need help. And so the story that I talk about, and I pretend there's a deck of cards in my hand. I can't even talk. So, you guys are going to be up really well. So there's a deck of cards in my hand, and I want an ace of hearts. Okay, knowing what I know, the first card I pull is a 2 of clubs. Am I going to try to talk that 2 of clubs into being an ace of hearts? Am I going to be
Wow.
disappointed, that they didn't become an ace of hearts? No, I'm not going to become disappointed. There are two of clubs. Next card. Oh, three of spades. Next card. King of diamonds. Next card. It doesn't matter. Somewhere in that deck, there's the card that I'm looking for. And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the card. Last story, and is how I got into this business. So I'm working with an individual. I've joined his international sales training and coaching company. And he said, we knew each other. Come back, come join me as a trainer. Come join me, as a coach. So I did. And in short order, I became his lead trainer and lead coach. And so one day I got a call kind of out of the blue, and he says, "Hey, I'm looking at insurance business, and I know that you've had about 25 years in it at that time. Uh, I'd like you to take a look at what I'm looking at." And my response to him was, "No, thanks. Been there, got the T-shirt, done that. No, thank you." Now this is a guy that's written, 10 books. I can go to my bookshelf. I won't. I'm not going to plug his books, but he's written books on scripting and sales and overcoming objections and all this stuff, right? So I am braced. I've told them no, so I am ready for his comeback. And his comeback was, okay,
Wow.
what? Okay, great. Click. And we just went on about things, for the next, I don't know, a few months. And then I had a health emergency. It was, very life threatening, and it ended up having emergency surgery and being flat on my back for about 3 weeks. And in that time, or just prior to that, I had renewed a policy, converted a policy, because I had lost my health years prior to that. I couldn't get insurance anymore. Oh, there's a reality. The policy you buy next may be your last policy, or maybe the last policy you bought is the last policy you'll ever be able to get. So I had converted it, and I went from $93 a month to $850 a month. So now it's $10,000 a year in premium. And I'm very happy to pay it because I love my bride, right? And I understand the value of, you know, insurance. But I'm laying in the bed, and I'm thinking, okay, I know what that agent made on my conversion. Hmm. Now my wife needs to convert her policy too, but when I went into the hospital, everything kind of went on hold. And I thought, why should I let him make that money when I can make that money? See, I wasn't licensed at the time, and for myself, it wasn't really worth the trouble. But wow, making a commission for my wife's policy, that sounded really good to me.
Yeah.
So I called the guy back, you know, and I said, "Tell me more about this, this insurance stuff." And he said, "Oh well, I don't know that much, but let me send you something." Okay, so he sent me this audio, a conversation that he had, and it was horrible. Technically, it was horrible, but the content was really intriguing. So I called him back. I said, "Tell me more." He goes, "Well, I don't know more, but let me send you this video." So he sent me the video, and I watched the video, and wow. So I called Lisa. "Lisa, come here. Take a look at this." And she looked at me and she said, "You know what? If if this is real, you're nuts if you don't do it." So I called him back and I said, "Hey, this is really great. I'm ready. How do we get started?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, how to do that, but let me have you talk to somebody." So I hung up the phone and I cackled, not laughed. I mean, I absolutely cackled. I went nuts. I said, "Thomas, can you say, okay, I don't know. I don't know. Let me send you something. I don't know. Let me send you somebody else. I don't know. Let me have you talk to somebody."
Wow.
And, you boil it down, and that's what's required of not, of quote, a new person, someone new to the business, whether you have had any experience in the financial services or you've had no experience in financial services. It is really that simple. And so we've created a system. All you do is follow the dots, click, 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 follow the dots, and you'll
Now,
get
for those watching, that's not our system. The example he just gave. Our system is really, really awesome. But I just wanted to clarify that, Thomas.
well, yeah, in the land of brontosauruses and stegosauruses, right? Compared to jet airliners, right?
I love it.
It's a great qualification because we are world class in our systems, and we have the technology and the experience to help anyone become world class and a leader and change their lives.
Oh,
So
amen to that.
that's it.
Now, on that note, I'm going to bring it back to your example of the deck of cards. And for those of you watching, make sure that you come back to the channel next week for Thomas's second interview, where I'm going to ask him to describe that card. And then you can go ahead and take a look in the mirror and see if that might describe you. But Thomas, if somebody is wanting to work with you, what is the best number for them to reach you at?
Sure. By text or phone, 206 355 7357.
Perfect. And for those of you watching, all of his information will be in the description under this video. So be sure to check that out. And Thomas, thank you so much for being here tonight. It was absolutely wonderful.
Sasha, the pleasure is all mine. Thanks for the invitation.